Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to my shop. In this video I'm going to show you this air filtration system I got from Rikon and some of the couple of issues I ran into, but we got them solved, and Rikon tech support is great. They always get back to me very quickly. So I'll be showing you how I get this installed and show you some of the other things about it. Anyways, now some of my techniques may not be approved by some of the suppliers or the manufacturers of products, so follow my techniques at your own risk. I'll stick around to the end for some extras and some information you'll want to see. And please consider subscribing and joining our community by clicking on that little red icon in the lower right corner, and be sure to hit the bell icon also so you won't miss anything new. Also, please hit that thumbs up icon and give me a like, and share this with your family, friends, and fellow crafts enthusiasts. Please leave your comments below and tell me your questions, your thoughts, and ideas. I get a lot of great ideas from you, and other viewers often leave some great tips and ideas that may answer some of your questions. So thank you for your contributions. Now be sure to read the description below, as it contains additional information and updates and corrections. And check back often for updates. So let's get on with this project now. Well, I got this Rikon air filtration system for my shop to replace the old one I had, which was a shop vac air filter that kind of hung between the rafters in my garage here. My garage here, I've got a low ceiling, 7 foot. That gives me a lot of limited space, and the old air filter that I was using, and I'll put up a picture of that here, gave me some limitation because it was quite, big around compared to what this is supposed to be a lot slimmer, so I can hang it from some of my rafters and stuff. Being the other one was so big and round, that kind of limited where I could put it, and also the direction I could put it in, because it was dependent on the direction where my rafters ran, or my floor joists above. So this will give me a lot more options to be able to position it more where I want to put it. I want to put it slightly off from where I had this other one at, but at least I can position it around, so I think I can get more effective filtration out of it. So stay tuned, I'll show you how to do this. Time to unpackage this thing, see what all I've got in the box here. I'll try and do this quickly and show you what we have. I'll probably put part of this off to the side as I get the contents out of the box here. So open this up, and let's see, first thing I've got, this little box. What do we got in this? Let's see. Okay, looks like I've got the hardware for hanging it from the ceiling, and the remote control. Doesn't feel like it's got any batteries in it, so I suppose I'll have to supply my own. Let's see. Yep, looks like I have to supply a couple of AA batteries here, unless I find them somewhere else here in the box. And well, here they are inside this box. So alright, then of course we've got the instructions on how to install this and everything, and a warranty registration card, of course. Okay, now looks like what's left is the main unit. So I'll have to get this lifted out of the box. I'm going to kind of push it over, lift it out, set it on the tabletop here. Alright, so I kind of set it over the side lifted this out of the box, where the box just kind of fell away from it anyway. Now I get this styrofoam pieces off the ends here. See what we got left here. Taking all this plastic wrap off. Alright, so this is the unit. Get the power cord here. I'll try and hold this up here as I rotate this around to show you some of the controls and so forth for doing manual controls if your remote doesn't work or something, or you lost your remote. Another side of it here, it's pretty well plain. Then back side of it here where the filter is out. Looks like this filter should be relatively easy to change. It's like this just pops up. Yep, same for the bottom. And you can just pull the filter out, clean out these parts here. We'll get into more of this later with the instructions and so forth. So, but looks like a pretty good deal. So, next up is to make some space over here where I'm going to mount it at. So, I'll show you how I do that next. Alright, so one of the first things I'm going to do before I go through all the trouble of trying to hang this thing up is to make sure it runs in the first place and that it operates, fairly like it's supposed to. So I put the batteries in the remote, and I've got this plugged into a outlet I've got right above my saw here. And I've tried working it by the buttons on the back, and basically I can control the speeds for all of these to run. And then off. The remote control gives me a little more control because I can turn it on and set the different speeds. And then with the yellow button on this, I can change the timer, whether it's going to run 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours. So that works great. And I'm going to walk off to the side here and see how well this works off to some distances. I mean, I got a small shop, so I don't have to go very far. Well, I've tried this from a lot of different positions in the shop, and it seems like if I'm not really kind of close behind the control panel here, the back part, where I've got almost like a direct aim towards the back part with the remote, it doesn't want to respond. It doesn't change speeds, times, or shut off. So somehow I'm going to have to figure out how am I going to hang this and still have access with this remote so I can make it work the way it's supposed to. Stay tuned. Alright, so reading in the manual here, and I find on page 10, tells me the air filter can be operated directly using the remote control panel. To use the remote control, the control and the control panel must be in direct view of each other for the infrared signals to work. Well, last night I messaged Rikon, and I got a prompt response from them first thing this morning. They've always been very good at responding to me on things on other Rikon products I had to contact support about. But what they told me on this is that this doesn't have to be, the intake doesn't have to be facing the source of where the dust is being created. It can be located in any orientation because, as they say, it's an air filter, not a dust collector. Dust collector will be my central vac system and my shop vac. This just wants to circulate the most fine particles in the air and clear the air on that. And once you got it in an orientation that works to circulate the air throughout, that works, as it should. So that's what I'll do. It's mounted up, and I'll put a sketch up, kind of lays out basically my shop and how I'm going to have this oriented. I found that I can orient it in such a direction that the remote control will work for me. So that'll be great. Great solution. So anyways, moving on. Next thing to do here, since I've tested it out and gotten my answers, is to hang this up in my rafters down here. What they give us is these bolts, or these eye hooks, so to speak, that goes on top of this cabinet. And I'll take out these screws here and then screw this one in. First I have to screw this nut on here. And once I screw this in to the appropriate height, then I'll tighten down this nut and of course orient this hook in a manner that I want it to, depending on which direction the chain may be pulling, depending on how I mount it on these floor joists down here. So that'll be my next step. Put those on. Then they also give you these hooks to put into the ceiling joists or the floor joists above me. And that's where the other ends of the chains will hook into. And then they give you these chains. It's like this. It's got hook at one end here, and at this other end it's like a split key ring. So you can adjust this accordingly to whatever length that you want. And that'll work out great. I'll get these installed, and then the next step I'll look at getting this installed into my ceiling down here. Yeah. Wonder how deep this is going to go in. Oh, it seats all the way in there. I'll just have to figure out my orientation then, and then tighten down the nut. So I'm going to leave this a little bit loose for now. I'll get the rest of these done. So I inspected the joists where I'm going to hang these on. They're your standard 16 inches on center, which means I'm going to hang these hooks in this direction here, because the chains are going to be pulling in this direction. I'm kind of exaggerating it here, but out towards where the joists are going to be. And of course I'm going to try and hang it as high as possible because I got low ceilings here. One of the reasons why I bought this one is to try and get more headroom. Anyways, it's a good thing I'm kind of short. I'm 5'6½", so that works for me. So what I'm going to do is get these hooks put up into my joists, and then I'll work on getting this hung up there. Thankfully, this is not that all heavy compared to another one I was looking at. It was twice the weight, this one. I think it was around somewhere between 50 and 60 pounds. This one's closer to 30 pounds. So that'll make it a lot easier for getting this up there. Once I get it hung up a little bit, then I can start adjusting the chains so I can get as tight a fit as I can. Alright, so I'm going to mount this or hang this in this area here. We can see those two rafters running across there like tracks. That's what I'm going to hang from. And this position here, located, will give me a good location to get, I think, some good circulation on this. So this will be great. What I'll do is put in those hooks into the joists, then get this hung up there. So I've got the 4 hooks attached or screwed into the joists up there. And I got them, so the hooks are kind of facing outward because the chain's going to be pulling towards inside slightly. So, and I got them centered on the joist. That ought to hold very well, very strong. Next is just to get this unit up there. Trying to do it by myself. Probably a 2-man job, but I'm going to try and finagle it myself. Alright, here I forgot to turn on my microphone, but what I'm going to do is get this hung up. I've got this on top of a step ladder here. It's got a little bit of a platform so I can get a start and a lift from that point. Then I lift it up, then hang it on to the rear chains so that I can get that basically hanging, and then that'll make it a lot easier for me to hook up the front chains, and then I can adjust that to get it up closer to the ceiling. Now I'm going to be adjusting it up and hanging the front chains. I found it easiest to hook the chains to the top of the unit, and then to put the hooks up onto the eye hooks that are up on the rafters or on the joists. Now we'll be getting these adjusted up to get it up as close as I can to the ceiling. Alright, so I've got this fastened up here and hung it up, and I've got it as close as absolutely possible to the ceiling there. All I got is the S-hook and the ring that goes on the hooks. The rest of the chain, not really using, so I'm going to be cutting that off. Then remote works perfectly fine here, and from other ends of my garage too. This will work good for me. So this shows exactly how tight I got these up here. I just got the hook, the ring that's on this black hook, the rest of this chain I can cut off. This is as high as I can get it. But this will work great, and I'll enjoy using this. Alright, so as you can see here, I've got plenty of headroom here that I can get underneath it because I'm short enough. So that works out with these low ceilings that I have in here. So good deal. So here on this air filter, the way to change and clean these filters is you flip these down and that one up and just pull the filter out. This is the paper filter that's replaceable. The other inside filter is replaceable also, but that can be blown out and washed. And so we'll set this aside. Then to get this out, I just grab it kind of like in the middle here, and it comes out. Then you can take this to the sink or whatever, blow it out first with the air compressor, then you can wash it a bit. Once it's thoroughly dry, make sure it's thoroughly dry before you stick it back in, and then seat it all the way in. Then when you put this filter back in, make sure you got the airflow pointing in the correct direction, because its airflow is going into this. So I want to make sure we put this in correctly. Get the right airflow. Put the clips back down. That's all there is to changing or cleaning out this filter. Alright, so a tip here for using this air filtration system, and probably for most any filtration system. I had a couple of issues. Tech support was quick to respond, and one of the issues I had was I was plugging in for the power cord for electrical to a light socket with a screw in into the light bulb socket. Actually, it was an extension cord plugged into that, and then I plugged into the extension cord, forgetting where that extension cord was going to. So you need to do is run the power supply wire directly to a wall outlet. And if you don't have one close enough within reach of the length of the cord, then you can use an extension cord, but make sure you use at least a 14 gauge extension cord, and probably no more than about 10 feet if you can, less than 20 if at all possible. So also, when you don't have a good circuit going with the ground and everything, that can affect how well the remote control is going to work. Works a lot better when you got a good circuit on there, because I went through that. So anyways, that's my tip for now. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and you got some inspiration, please give me a like and hit that thumbs up icon. Also, please share it with your family, friends, and fellow crafts enthusiasts. And please subscribe by checking on that little red icon down in that lower right corner. It's a small one. And be sure to hit the bell icon that pops up too, so you won't miss anything new. Please leave your comments. I'd like to hear what you think, your suggestions, and what you may be interested in seeing. Other viewers often leave some great tips and ideas that may answer some of your questions. So thank you for your contributions. And be sure to read the description below, as it contains additional information, updates, and corrections. And check back often for updates and corrections on that. So as they say in the Red Green Show, if the ladies don't find you handsome, at least they should find you handy. Thank you.